But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and you like it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it. And this is like low information, blue no matter who, like older housewives who are mad at the world. That's the appeal that Whoopi Goldberg has. Does Whoopi have children?
So you know who made a campaign stop on the Joe Rogan podcast Friday night. And with all the issues Americans are going to be voting on, you know where they started the interview? Take a look.
It was the episode of You when you're on The View.
You might not believe this, but Joe Rogan just went after Whoopi Goldberg on his podcast, and people online can't stop talking about it. The comedian and podcast host took aim at Whoopi over some of her latest controversial comments, and he didn't hold back. So, what did she say that sparked such a strong reaction from Rogan? And how are people responding to the clash? We've got the full story coming up. Grab a seat, maybe some popcorn, and get ready, because this one is definitely worth watching.
It is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies infested hen house.
and at the same time, it seemed like the most interesting part was their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes. And
that's their audience.
Joe Rogan and Whoopi Goldberg haven't exactly seen eye to eye over the years. In fact, it's safe to say there's no love lost between them. Rogan has been openly critical of many of Goldberg's political views, and he hasn't been shy about saying so. Whoopi has fired back from time to time, but more often than not, Rogan's responses have grabbed the spotlight. This latest exchange, though, might be one of his strongest yet. While Goldberg's supporters continue to defend her comments, Rogan's criticism has sparked plenty of discussion online. And when you hear the remarks that set him off this time, it's easier to understand why the debate has become so heated.
Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it because it's so
on TV.
crazy.
She said
on television. Find that now, Jamie, because it's so.
Let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything. Yeah. You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
Yeah.
I mean,
Claps.
he could. I mean, no. This is not a good thing. He could go. What this means is he could do anything.
That's not what it means at all.
Even Joe Rogan couldn't believe what he was hearing. From his perspective, the idea that presidential immunity would somehow allow a president to start locking up political opponents without consequences simply doesn't hold up. He argued that claims like that take the conversation far beyond reasonable debate and into pure speculation. Rogan also criticized what he sees as a growing trend in political commentary, using worst-case scenarios and extreme hypotheticals to drive fear, rather than focusing on what's actually happening. Whether you agree with him or not, he clearly wasn't buying the argument, and as you're about to see, he and his guest didn't hold back when discussing Whoopi Goldberg's remarks.
Like, if you're willing to let Donald Trump use presidential immunity, that means Joe Biden could just go crazy and arrest all the Republicans. Because that's what that means. No, that's not what that means, even a little bit.
Yeah.
Like,
no,
you just added a whole bunch of stuff to what that means.
I mean, in fairness, though, I mean, The View has to be, if you average out The View hosts, among the dumbest people on television. And so it's like they say the thing that people are thinking, but they say it very directly, so they expose whatever truth. But
I don't think some of them are dumb.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think Sunny Hostin's
You think it's deliberate?
I think she's ideologically driven, and they have blinders on, for sure. I don't think Sunny's dumb. But Whoopi is certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out. It's like if you had an idea for a premise and you like it was totally baked and half baked and you went on stage with it.
Rogan and his guest clearly weren't impressed, and they didn't hold back. In their view, Whoopi Goldberg has developed a habit of making bold claims that generate headlines but don't always stand up to much scrutiny. No matter how you feel about her, there's no denying that some of her comments have sparked plenty of controversy over the years. What frustrates critics most is that these kinds of statements keep coming. Just when it seems the conversation couldn't get any more dramatic, another eyebrow-raising take finds its way into the spotlight. To them, it's less about thoughtful debate and more about creating reactions. And that's exactly why Rogan decided to keep pushing the issue, because as far as he was concerned, there was still a lot more to unpack.
Yeah, there's nothing there. Sometimes comics do that.
Yeah, and
for fun.
the other question is then, is that representative of a big constituency? I think probably yes.
Well, a lot of
MSNBC
people,
viewers are probably also thinking,
I don't even think the MSNBC viewers. I think
that's
they're a
too
little
far.
bit more sophisticated than that.
Yeah.
This is like low information, blue no matter who, like older housewives who are mad at the world. That's the appeal that Whoopi Goldberg has. Does Whoopi have children?
No idea.
It's interesting too, like really politically motivated older women who don't have children.
Joe Rogan raises a point that he finds worth discussing. To be clear, Whoopi Goldberg does have a daughter, Alex Martin, and she's appeared alongside her mother in a few projects over the years. But that's not really the issue Rogan was focused on. His broader argument was about how some people approach long-term decisions and whether having future generations in mind changes the way they view certain issues. Rogan suggested that when people don't feel personally connected to the future impact of policies, they may be more willing to support ideas without fully considering the consequences down the road. Agree or disagree, it's an argument that has sparked plenty of debate. Rogan's point wasn't just about one person, it was about a mindset he believes exists in parts of politics and culture today. That's why his comments caught so much attention. And as you're about to see, he takes that argument a step further with an observation that many people found interesting. Take a look.
Well, there's a lot of young, like hot Republican women that are social influencers now too, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun to see like these trends. You see them in things where people realize like, oh, this is a path to success. I'm going to be a black Trump supporter.
Totally.
You know, they just run with it.
Yeah.
You see a little bit of that. But I feel like with a lot of moms that I know that were like hippies. They were like, and then they had kids and they're like, this, like immediately. Like a buddy of mine's mom who was like super left wing, full on leftist. She had kids, and then the riots and COVID and all the chaos. She's like, this. Like it red pilled so many of those folks. They're just not talking about it.
According to many critics on the right, recent elections reflected growing frustration with progressive policies and messaging. They argue that voters are becoming increasingly skeptical of ideas they see as disconnected from everyday concerns. Whether that's true or not remains a matter of debate, but it's a viewpoint that's gaining attention in political discussions. Some parents, in particular, say they're paying closer attention to issues involving education, public safety, and the values being taught to their children. For them, these aren't abstract political arguments. They're issues that affect their daily lives. As a result, many are re-evaluating where they stand politically and supporting candidates they believe better represent their concerns. This is part of the larger point Rogan was discussing. His argument wasn't just about Whoopi Goldberg specifically, but about what he sees as inconsistencies in how certain political and cultural issues are presented. That's where he believes the conversation becomes especially interesting, and it's the point he chose to focus on next.
So many of those folks, they're just not talking about it. They don't talk about it outwardly because they're real uncomfortable with being ostracized and being yelled at, and especially with like groups of their old friends that are single, that still live in Los Angeles. You know, especially if you're certain ideological hubs, you know, like Silver Lake. There's like these spots where you can't escape.
Dude, I lived in Topanga Canyon for a year.
Oh boy, that's a good one.
Some critics say the political divide has become so intense that people who change sides or speak against their own group often face backlash. They argue that in today's climate, stepping outside a dominant viewpoint can lead to harsh criticism or social pushback, even from former allies. This tension, they say, can also show up in public discussions and talk shows, where debates sometimes shift from ideas to personal jabs. On programs like The View, moments of disagreement between co-hosts have occasionally played out on air, drawing attention online and sparking further debate about how tolerant political conversations really are. Supporters of this view point to past and present co-hosts who have faced strong reactions for expressing differing opinions, arguing that it highlights how emotionally charged these discussions have become. In that context, Joe Rogan and others have commented on what they see as a lack of open, balanced debate in certain media spaces, suggesting that discussions sometimes turn more into conflict than conversation.
It is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and
Yep.
hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a rabies infested hen house.
And at the same time, it seemed like the most interesting part was their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes.
And that's their audience.
Some critics argue that the reactions from certain media personalities are too extreme and out of touch with what everyday viewers want. They claim audiences are getting tired of constant outrage, heated arguments, and repeating the same political talking points without real discussion. Joe Rogan's guests also suggested that some viewers of The View may be growing frustrated and looking for more balanced conversations elsewhere. Whether you agree or not, the discussion highlights a bigger debate about media tone and political commentary in general. Online reactions to Rogan's remarks were mixed, with some supporting his views and others pushing back strongly, keeping the conversation going across social media. Now hear the clip that shows Whoopi Goldberg speaking directly to her audience.
Whoopi Goldberg's, like, did you see what she did to that Staten Island bakery?
Yeah.
No.
Crazy.
What?
So
She ate
Staten
everything.
Island Bakery, their boiler went down, and she placed an order of cupcakes for her birthday. And they
It's
couldn't
like,
do
hold
the
on, hold on,
order.
hold on. I can't imagine yet how this would go bad. Okay, go ahead.
So she places this order. They say, we can't promise you that we can do this because our boiler is down, so we can't fulfill this order. And so then the next day, the boiler is back up. She has someone else call the same bakery, and they get the order in because now the boiler's up. She claims the reason why they didn't take her order is because they didn't like her politics. And so she says this on The View. So then the bakery has a press conference where they say, we've been in business for 150 years. This is not what happened at all. We don't discriminate against anybody regardless of anything. We just had a problem with our boiler. And she's singling out a family-run business. And then there's a line around the block for the bakery.
So here's the question people are asking. Did Whoopi Goldberg really go too far in her comments about a well-known bakery? Or is this all being taken out of context? Some viewers feel the situation reflects a bigger issue, where public figures and media personalities can spark backlash simply by how they frame a story. Others argue that once the facts came out, the reaction online became even more heated instead of calming down. What's clear is that the clip triggered strong opinions on both sides. Supporters defended her perspective, while critics pushed back just as hard, and the debate quickly spread across social media. At the end of the day, it's another example of how fast these controversies grow online and how divided reactions can get. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you in the next one.